Minglaba and welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Agajo. Here are the stories. State Counsellor Aung Suu Kyi stressing the collective strength can help to be successful in fighting against pandemic COVID-19. And Yangon Rescue Organization conducting the campaign to spray the pesticide and clean ayoe market on 25th March. And China gradually returning to normal after stringent measures are executed to put the virus outbreak under control. And State Counsellor Aung Suu Kyi urging people not to panic and not to store a large amount of rice as it is sufficient enough for the local market. All of that on this edition of Myanmar Today, but for now, let's take a look at what's happening in local news. State Counsellor Aung Suu Kyi held a video conference at the Presidential Palace in Naypyidaw Wednesday with health workers and members of civil society who are carrying out anti-COVID-19 measures. Following an opening remark by the State Counsellor in her capacity as the chairperson of the National Level Central Committee on Prevention, Control and Treatment of Coronavirus 2019, Don Nhin Tatanai, a midwife at Singuji Village Health Center in Ngapuro Township of Ayoe region, Dr. Kinruba So from Laintaya Township Public Health Department, U Kaumyethu from Aung Volunteers, and U San Mao from the We Love Yangon presented short briefings regarding the home quarantine situations in their respective areas and their anti-COVID-19 measures. During the COVID-19 outbreak, more than 200,000 fish and prawn are regularly coming into Jimendai's Central Sambia Fish Market, which has been distributing them to the wholesalers for the Yangon region townships, said Chairman Umya Mao of the Central Sambia Fish Market Committee. Around 200,000 through 300,000 fish and prawns are coming into the market daily, according to the Central Sambia Fish Market Committee. Currently, COVID-19 disease prevention and control measures are being accelerated in the market, and the committee is also spraying disinfectants in the market every week. Myanmar-China Exchange and Cooperation Association has donated 20,000 masks for the protection against the COVID-19 to Nam Mau General Hospital in Magui region. The donation ceremony was held at the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Myanmar on 31st March. The ceremony was attended by Ambassador Mr. Chen Hai and Commercial Attaché Mr. Tan Chu Fu of Chinese Embassy in Myanmar. Chairman Utisa of Myanmar-China Exchange and Cooperation Association, and Dr. Myasana Than, representative of Nam Mau Township Treatment Department in Magui region. Passenger volume slides half in Bansuran Dala Ferry. Yangon Bansuran Jetty said the ferries run 46 times daily at every 20-minute interval. However, the number of passengers has declined by half these days. There are only a few passengers on board the ferries these days. The crew members are given priority to the safety of the passengers. To prevent the COVID-19 infection, IWT is installing the basins on the ferries for passengers to wash their hands, spraying disinfectants at night, and providing safe and convenient services to the passengers. The 3 cherry ferries donated by Japan are operating between Dala and Bansuran jetties, running 46 routes per day. Normally, there are about 30,000 passengers on board the ferries, but now the number of passengers has declined to 15,000, panicked by infection with the virus. That's all with the local news. Now we'll move on to our first report. State Counsellor Aung Suu Kyi in her speech delivered on 31st March stressed that collective strength can be helpful to be successful in fighting against pandemic COVID-19. She also showed appreciation to all healthcare providers and responsible people who are contributing in the roles assigned and serving their duties. Tora Swesi has more.
State Counsellor Aung Suu Kyi, in her capacity as chairperson of the National Level Central Committee on Prevention, Control and Treatment of COVID-19, delivered the televised speech on 31st March, stressing her belief to calmly overcome this pandemic with the collective strength. For a certain period of time, all citizens are requested to hang on with strong determination and bear the difficulties. The State Counsellor said, working with full sense of duty to stop the spread of COVID-19 can overcome this challenge. She requested the public to be alert to all announcements made by the Ministry of Health and Sports on a continuous basis. People are advised to avoid going to crowded places, both indoors or outdoors. She also urged the patients under investigation and those who are under the 14-day quarantine to exercise the patience and pass the required period of time with goodwill for others.
ကျန်းမာရေးနဲ့အားကစားဝန်ကြီးဌာနရဲ့ကပ်ရောဂါကြီး big outbreak ဖြစ်နိုင်တဲ့ကြေညာချက်ထုတ်ပြန်ပြီးတဲ့နောက်ပိုင်းပြည်သူများအကြားမှာ
After the Ministry of Health and Sports has announced that there could be a big outbreak of pandemic, there were some people who raised their voices for the lockdown, while others was worried about when the lockdown was coming. Therefore, in the national interest, community quarantine may be carried out in some region in which the access or exit is denied. If such a situation occurs, a committee headed by the Vice President Wen has already been organized for the purpose of taking systematic measures for the sufficient and sustainable supply of provisions and medicines, as well as for the political stability in such a region under special care. We will inform you as early as possible if there is a need for community quarantine for the particular region, and I would like to ask the people of such a special region to cooperate and collaborate with their understanding of the important situation.
The Control and Emergency Response Committee was formed, including Vice President Aung as chairman and union ministers and officials from Tamil as members. The committee is responsible for tracking the contacted persons with COVID-19 positive patients, conducting necessary quarantine by taking systematic measures for supply and medicine provisions, and the political stability, safeguarding the border areas, controlling the false news, and collaborating with civic society groups as well as the individual volunteers. This committee is to work under the guidelines of National Level Central Committee on Prevention, Control, and Treatment of COVID-19. The State Counsellor expressed her gratitude to the people who have been making their contributions in the roles assigned, serving their duty in respective settings with a strong sense of responsibility.
ရှေ့တန်းကတိုက်ပွဲဝင်နေတဲ့ဆရာဝန်သူနာပြုကျန်းမာရေးဝန်ထမ်းတွေကိုအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ကြောင်းပြောချင်ပါတယ်
I must acknowledge my gratitude to all medical officers, nurses, and health workers who are battling at present on the front lines with the high morals, despite difficulties and hardship. I would like to say you are the hero who are battling for the people. Moreover, I wish to express my gratitude on behalf of the state to all quarter, village administrators, staff of the Department of General Administration, staff of other departments, and all the people who have been contributing to this effort.
We have the responsibility to take care of the patients, and we are doing in our fullest capacity. We already have chronic patients to cure, and now we are also fighting against the pandemic COVID-19. It is double the workload. It is tiring, but we are not to give up. Although we are doing our duty, I am grateful to receive the acknowledgement of the State Counsellor, and I am proud for all healthcare providers who are fighting against the pandemic in front line. Moreover, not only the healthcare providers, but also people from governance and management, as well as individual citizens, should participate together.
According to the data till 31st March, there are total 15 confirmed cases for COVID-19 infection, including one deceased case. The latest case 15 patient is a 45-year-old Myanmar woman who is working at a private clinic of medical services for foreigners. The government, Tamil, and all ministries are working together to carry out measures against COVID-19 disease. Healthcare providers are also performing with fullest capacity, and civic society groups as well as individual volunteers are also helping the community. The State Counsellor focused that unity is strength and people are the key. That's all for now. This is Tora Suizin from MI Radio.
That's the report on State Counsellor Aung San Suu Kyi, stressing the collective strength can help to be successful in fighting against pandemic COVID-19. Yangon Rescue Organization participated in the campaign to spray the pesticide and clean ayoe market on 25th March. Markets are issued to be places with higher risk of infection with the disease. Therefore, spraying pesticide at the markets is being carried out in Myanmar. Toraz Wisin has details.
To prevent and control the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, sanitizing processes are being taken account of. The public are guided to take care of personal hygiene, including washing hands, as well as the public places are cleaned by spraying pesticide. Markets are issued to be the places with higher risk of infection with the disease. Therefore, spraying pesticide at the markets is being carried out in Myanmar. Yangon Rescue Organization (YRO) also participated in the campaign to spray the pesticide and clean ayoe market on 25th March.
We are to do cleaning process at ayoe market and spray the pesticide. We also did the cleaning process at Sambia Fish Market. For ayoe market, it is much closer to the household because it is not located separately, but in the street. Being close to the household can raise the risk of infection. For this cleaning process, we collaborate with ward administrators, responsible persons from Yangon City Development Committee, backup firefighters, and community volunteer groups.
The Ministry of Health and Sports in Myanmar has confirmed 3 positive cases of COVID-19 in Myanmar as of 26th March. However, the daily routine of the citizens are in the usual status. People are also going to the traditional market, so the public awareness programs are raised highly at the markets. It is also important to keep the market clean even after the spraying pesticide. Udinzo, market in charge of ayoe market, explained how they are carrying out market cleansing process.
We
collect the trash of the market daily and load it onto the garbage truck. After disposal of the trash, we clean the space with water and pesticide. This is what we are doing every day with 4 cleaning workers. Moreover, for the people coming to the market, we have placed a basin with water and soap to wash hands.
State Counsellor Aung also urged the citizens not to panic, and she also advised not to buy loads of goods, but only 1% of households to go to the market, and to follow the guidelines of the Ministry of Health and Sports. The Ministry of Health and Sports is also releasing the announcement for the public.
We share required health guidelines with the sellers at the market to wash hands carefully. We share knowledge by printing brochures as well as talking to the persons. At present, every day, we're doing the necessary protection and knowledge sharing concerning coronavirus under the leadership of the Markets Department of YCDC. So if the buyers and sellers follow the health guidelines, we can together protect and fight against this pandemic.
According to Udinzo at ayoe market, although there are more people buying at the market because of the information of positive cases of COVID-19 in the country, the sellers do not increase the price much higher. That's all for now. This is Dora Suisin from MI Radio.
That's a report on the Yangon Rescue Organization conducted the campaign to spray the pesticide and clean ayoe market on 25th March. All right, let's have a look at the currency rates now from Myanmar Central Bank and the Stock Exchange. $1 is at 1,394 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 196 kyats. €1 is at 1,531 kyats. £1 is at 1,719 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 977 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 323 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 42 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 18 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,583. Silver is at $14, and Brent crude oil is at $20. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI is at 9,900, MTSH is at 3,450, MCB is at 7,700, FPB is at 21,000, TMH is at 2,700. Stay with us as we bring you two more reports on Myanmar Today. China gradually returns to normal after stringent measures executed to put the virus outbreak under control. Majority of the businesses return to normal, and life for people across China and the epicenter Wuhan recover day by day. The report covers the resumption of businesses in China and the President Xi's recent inspection tour to Zhejiang province, where the economically important ports exist. After draconian and strict measures to contain the pandemic outbreak in the country, China has eventually returned to normal. Businesses, shops, public places, public transport, factories, plants, and restaurants resume their operation in a gradual manner. China has not been seeing a dramatic surge in confirmed cases of COVID-19 for weeks. The majority of the country's new cases are imported from abroad instead of coming from domestic origin. Mazaji Newin from China Media Group explained the update on the China gradually returning to normal.
ဒီတရုတ်နိုင်ငံရဲ့ဒေသတော်တော်များများမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အခုဆိုရင်ဒေသခံကူးစက်ရောဂါတွေကအခုနောက်ပိုင်းကမရှိတော့တဲ့လောက်ကိုတွေ့နေရပါတယ်။ဒီစားတောက်ဆိုင်တွေရှုခင်းတာနေရာတော်တော်များများလဲအခုဆိုရင်ဖွင့်လိုက်ပါပြီ။ဒီမတ်လ25ရက်နေ့ကစပြီးတော့ဒီဟူပေပြည်နယ်မှာဒီပြင်ဒေသတွေကိုပေါ့နော်။ထွက်တဲ့အထွက်လမ်းကြောင်းတွေကိုအရင်ကပိတ်ထားခဲ့တယ်အခုဆိုရင်ဖျက်သိမ်းလိုက်ပြီ။ဝူဟန်မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လဲဘတ်စကားလိုင်း100ကျော်တောင်ပြန်ဖွင့်ပြီးနောက်မြေအောက်ရထားလိုင်းဆိုလဲ6လိုင်းပေါ့နော်ပြန်လေးရောလဲပတ်ပြီးတော့ဖွင့်လှစ်ပြီးဒီလ29ရက်နေ့ကဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းဒီဟူပေပြည်နယ်ကလေဆိပ်တွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီပြည်တွင်းခရီးတဲ့ပို့ဆောင်ရေးအတွက်ကိုပုံမှန်ပြန်ပြီးတော့ပြန်တန်းဝင်ပြုလိုက်တယ်ဒါကိုကြည့်ချင်းအပြင်ဒီတရုတ်နိုင်ငံကဒီကူးစက်ရောဂါကိုကောင်းကောင်းထိန်းချုပ်နိုင်ပြီလို့ကျွန်မအနေနဲ့ယူဆမိပါတယ်အခုဆိုရင်ကျမတို့ဒီနေတဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဘေကျင်းမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းတော်တော်များများလူတွေကသွာလာနေကြပါပြီဘတ်စကားတွေနောက်မြေအောက်ရထားတွေသွာလာနေကြပြီပြန်လဲပြန်ပြီးတော့စီကားစားလဲပြုတ်လာပါပြီဒါကိုကြည့်ချင်းအပြင်ဒီကူးစက်ခံရဖို့အနေရတဖြည်းဖြည်းနဲ့နဲလာတဲ့သဘောကိုတွေ့ရပါတယ်ကျမထင်တယ်ဒီနောက်ပိုင်းတော့လေဒီကူးစက်ရောဂါပြန့်ပွားခြင်းမရှိသလောက်ကိုဖြစ်သွားမယ်လို့သုံးသပ်မိပါတယ်ရှင်
As of March 28th, 98.6% of China's major industrial enterprises have resumed production, representing an increase of 15.5 percentage points from 23rd February. In Hubei province particularly, the epicenter of the coronavirus in China, 95% of the major industrial enterprises have resumed operation and 70% of the employees have returned to work. The service sub-index of manufacturing production picked up to 54.1 in March from February's 27.8, while a reading of new orders rose to 52 from 29.3 a month earlier. New export orders received by Chinese manufacturer ticked up to 46.4 from 28.7 in February, but were still mired in contraction. The country's service sector activity also expanded, with official non-manufacturing PMI coming in at 52.3 from 29.6 in February, a separate NBS survey showed. Chinese President Xi Jinping inspected the county of Aung in East China Zhejiang province on Monday, saying that China will roll out more targeted measures to help small and medium-sized enterprises hit by the COVID-19 outbreak restart production and develop further.
COVID-19 ကူးစက်ရောဂါဖြစ်ပွားပြီးတဲ့နောက်မှာဒီတရုတ်သမ္မတရှီယာပေါ့နော်ကူးစက်ရောဂါတိုက်ဖြတ်ရေးကိုကိုယ်တိုင်စီမံကွက်ကဲနေတာကိုတွေ့ရပါတယ်ဒီလ29ရက်နေ့ကဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သမ္မတရှီကဒီကြက်ကျန်းပြည်နယ်ကို လေ့လာကြည့်ရှုတယ်ဒါသမရရှိနေနဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဒီ COVID-19 ရောဂါဖြစ်ပွားခဲ့တဲ့နောက်ပိုင်းမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်စရုပ်ထအကျဉ်းလေ့လာကြည့်ရှုတာဖြစ်တယ်ဒီသမရရှိရဲ့ကြကြမ်းပြည်ခရီးစဉ်မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူပထမဆုံးရောက်ရှိတဲ့နေရာကဒီနင်ပိုးကျိုးဆန်းဆိုတဲ့စိတ်ကမ်းမှာအဲ့ဒီစိတ်ကမ်းရဲ့ဒီပြန်လည်လက်ပတ်မှုအခြေအနေကိုသူကကြည့်ရှုပြီးတော့စစ်ဆေးခဲ့တယ်ဒီစိတ်ကမ်းတွေကဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီကဘာတဝန်းကပေါ့နော်လုပ်ငန်းတွေနဲ့လည်းဆက်နေပြီးတော့ဒီစီးပွားရေးပုံမှန်လက်ပတ်ဖို့အတွက်ဒီတော့ချက်ကြတဲ့နေရာဖြစ်တယ်လို့လည်းကျမတို့သိရပါတယ်
Chinese mainland's total number of cases has reached 81,518, including 771 cases that originated abroad. The death toll in the country now stands at 3,314. China said on Tuesday its national college entrance exam will be postponed for 1 month to July due to the epidemic. Also, Wuhan will lift outbound travel restrictions starting April 8th after 2 months of lockdown. China temporarily suspended entry of foreigners with valid visas and residence permits from 28th March. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio. That's a report on China gradually returning to normal after stringent measures are executed to put the virus outbreak under control. The Ministry of Health and Sports confirmed Myanmar's first 2 cases of the novel coronavirus late Monday. The announcement immediately sparked panic buying, especially in Yangon. State Counsellor Aung urged people not to panic over the Health Ministry's confirmation on Tuesday. In her speech, she said that there was no potential for a food shortage. Pyo Diritu and Zweman have the story.
The Ministry of Health and Sports confirmed Myanmar's first 2 cases of the novel coronavirus late Monday. The announcement immediately sparked panic buying, especially in Yangon. The crowds were jostling for instant noodles, bottled water, cooking oil, canned food, and especially rice. Normally, the demand for rice by the public in Yangon are only 40,000 rice bags, but the panic buying has driven the demand into over doubled, which is nearly 100,000 bags of rice in Yangon. According to Vice President of Myanmar Rice Federation, Aung, MRF is giving priority to fulfilling the demand for rice by the public and stabilizing the local rice market. Aung, Vice President of Myanmar Rice Federation, said,
As it is known to all, COVID-19 is happening in the entire world. The government and non-government organizations are handling the risk and rage of the virus, and so we should not be over-worried about that. Of course, we should not stay carelessly. We have to prepare for ways of healthy living, including a daily diet routine. I would like to request the public not to buy and store a large number of stocks of rice, as it is sufficient enough for the local market. Merchants and shops are also selling rice at reasonable prices. MRF also issued a statement on 13 March, saying that they were coordinating the measures to stabilize the local rice market and discussing sufficient rice stocks with the government organizations, private rice merchants, rice mill owners, distributors, depots, and exporters. The public in the basic level will have to suffer the effect of the panic buying. These have to be considered. MRF is also preparing to donate the medium rice bags and oil bottles.
Though the demand for rice is really high in the market, there is no crisis or difficulties for the private rice merchants, rice mill owners, distributors, depots, and exporters. Komyote rice merchant said,
The public is worrying about the shortage and they want to store the rice stocks. So they buy the rice at whatever prices. The price is rising just 500 to just 1,000 per rice bag now. But the price is not high in long run. Myanmar Rice Federation, Myanmar Rice and Paddy Traders Association and the rice merchant are giving priority to controlling rice price manipulation. Our country doesn't need to worry about the shortage of rice stocks. If paddy can be harvested for 1 season, we can eat for 3 years.
After analyzing the situation of local rice's paddy market, the Federation will issue an announcement. In the announcement, MRF also urged the regional rice merchants, rice mill owners to stay the sufficient rice stocks in ready for their respective regions. Kosokido, manager of transporting rice by means of water, said.
We transport inland rice from Lepoda to Yangon. One ship can carry about 4,500 to 4,800 rice of bags. We transport 4 times per month. The price for us is just normal. There is no case of getting the high price. We take 3 days for shipping from Lepoda to Yangon. We are going to transport normally. There is no plan to stop shipping.
State Counsellor Aung Suu Kyi urged people not to panic over the Health Ministry confirmation on Tuesday.
COVID-19 ကူးစက်ခံရသူ2ဦးတွေ့တယ်လို့သတင်းထွက်လာတာနဲ့တပြိုင်နက်ရိတ်ခါတွေဆေးတွေအလူအရက်ထွက်ဝယ်သူတွေလည်းရှိပါတယ်ရိတ်ခါပြနိုင်တဲ့အလားအလာမရှိပါဘူးလူအုပ်ထဲသွားတိုးဝယ်လို့ယောဂကူးမဲ့အလားအလာကပိုပြီးတော့များပါတယ်မပြန့်သွားဖို့အတွက်ပြည်သူတွေဒါအဓိကပါ
Over the Health Ministry's confirmations on Tuesday. In her speech, she said that there was no potential for a food shortage and panic buying only made more people infected with the virus. The government had no plan to close shopping centers and markets. This is news reporting from Myanmar Radio. I am Pyodiritu.
That's the report on State Counsellor Aung San Suu Kyi urging people not to panic and not to store a large amount of rice as it is sufficient for a local market. And that's all we have for today's reports, and it's probably time to check on some international news here on Myanmar Today. In international news, Chinese President Xi Jinping says curbing the number of COVID-19 cases coming from abroad is a top priority. He says this will remain the number one task for the government for a prolonged period of time. He made the remarks during an inspection tour in East China, Zhejiang province.
She said the situation in the country has moved steadily and in a positive direction. He called for stronger efforts in identifying and dealing with asymptomatic COVID-19 cases. The Chinese president has also called for efforts to ensure a smooth flow in the global supply chain in order for economic and trade activities to normalize.
Chinese President Xi Jinping stressed balancing disease control and economic development. He made the remarks before wrapping up his 4-day inspection of East China's Zhejiang on Wednesday.
On the first leg of his tour, Xi visited the Transhan port area of the Ningbo Zhoushan port with a throughput that has been fully restored.
I hope the staff at the Zhoushan port could make great achievements after overcoming all the difficulties.
President Xi also said the port took the lead in resuming operation, which is important in restoring the logistics system and global industrial chains. He called for efforts to cope with global restrictive measures on cargo shipping and to facilitate trade. He said the Zhoushan port plays an important role in initiatives such as the Belt and Road, the Yangtze River Economic Belt and integration of the Yangtze River Delta. He also visited an industrial park that produces high-end auto parts and the modes in Ningbo. The president inspected a private manufacturer, where he stressed the government's support for smaller companies.
China has been urging United Nations Security Council UNSC members to adopt new responses for handling global emergencies like COVID-19 pandemic, a Chinese envoy said. The aim is to ensure the council responds effectively. During its UNSC presidency last month, China explored emergency plans to make it possible for the council to discharge its mandate. The council issued a statement that underscored the importance of a more holistic approach that included capacity building, information sharing, and border control. The council adopted Resolution 2518, which highlighted the safety and security of the peacekeepers. The resolution also urged the international community to increase investment in peacekeeping operations. With the severe outbreak of COVID-19 in New York, China made adjustments to the way the UNSC works, taking precautions to reduce the risk of infection. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo disclosed on Tuesday that his brother, CNN television anchor Chris Cuomo, had tested positive for COVID-19. The disclosure came on the same day. New York reported that cases in state had increased by more than 9,000 from a day earlier to 75,795, with deaths rising by 27% to 1,550, the most of any state. Chris Cuomo, 49, confirmed the diagnosis on Twitter, saying he was worried about infecting his wife and children, but that he would continue to host his nightly show from his basement.
We underestimated this virus. It's more powerful, it's more dangerous than we expected. And the third point is plan forward. Get ahead of it. Get ahead of it. Fight the fight today, yes, but anticipate the next battle and plan for the next battle. And the main battle is at the apex. We're still going up the mountain. The main battle is on the top of the mountain. It is the great equalizer. I don't care how smart, how rich, how powerful you think you are. I don't care how young, how old. This virus is the great equalizer. My brother Chris is positive for coronavirus. Found out this morning.
And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Agajo. Have a great day, everyone. Stay home, stay safe.